It was an early spring morning in the rolling hills of Montana. The sun cast its golden rays over the dewy grass, and the gentle neighs of horses filled the crisp air. The local ranch, Willow Creek Stables, was coming alive. Its prized horse, a majestic mare named Bella, stood at the edge of the paddock, her ears perked toward the forest just beyond the property. Something wasn't right. Bella, known for her calm demeanor, was unusually restless, pawing at the ground and letting out soft, uneasy nickers. Ranch owner Sarah, a seasoned horsewoman in her mid-30s, noticed Bella's unusual behavior as she went about her morning chores. Bella's gaze was fixed on the dense line of trees. Intrigued, Sarah approached her, running a comforting hand along the mare's strong neck. "What is it, girl?" she murmured, but Bella wasn't soothed. Instead, the horse gave a sharp whinny, trotted a few steps toward the fence, and then turned back to Sarah as if urging her to follow. Curiosity piqued, Sarah decided to investigate. She opened the gate, and Bella immediately led the way, her large hooves pressing into the soft earth as she made a beeline for the forest. Sarah grabbed a flashlight from the barn even though the morning light was strong. The dense canopy of the woods could turn even the brightest day into shadow. As Sarah followed Bella deeper into the forest, she couldn't shake the growing unease in her chest. The mare's behavior was unlike anything she had seen before. They ventured further into the woods until Bella stopped abruptly, her ears swiveling toward a faint sound. Sarah strained to listen, and then she heard it. A soft, muffled cry. Her heart skipped a beat. "Is that a baby?" she whispered to herself, her pulse quickening. Guided by the cries, Sarah and Bella moved cautiously toward the source. After a few more steps, Sarah saw it, a worn cardboard box tucked under a cluster of bushes. Her breath caught as she knelt to inspect the box. Inside was an infant, wrapped in a thin blanket, its tiny face red and tear-streaked. The baby's cries were weak, as though it had been there for hours. Sarah's hands trembled as she gently picked up the child. "Oh my God," she breathed, cradling the baby to her chest. The blanket was damp and offered little warmth. Bella stood close, her large eyes filled with what almost seemed like concern, her warm breath fanning over the baby as if to offer comfort. Adrenaline coursing through her, Sarah hurried back to the ranch, Bella trotting protectively at her side. Once inside, Sarah called the local authorities and an ambulance. While waiting, she worked quickly to warm the baby, wrapping it in a thick towel and holding it close. The baby's cries softened, and for the first time, Sarah noticed the delicate features of the tiny face. When the ambulance arrived, paramedics took the baby and assured Sarah that the child would be taken to the nearest hospital for a full checkup. Sheriff McAllister, a gruff but kind-hearted man who had known Sarah since childhood, arrived shortly after. "A baby, abandoned in the woods," he said, shaking his head in disbelief. "It's a miracle you found it, Sarah, or rather, Bella did." Sarah glanced at Bella, who was now back in her paddock, grazing peacefully as though nothing unusual had happened. "She's incredible," Sarah said, her voice filled with emotion. "I don't know what made her lead me out there, but she saved that baby's life." Over the next few days, news of the discovery spread throughout the small town and beyond. The story of Bella, the heroic horse, captured hearts everywhere. Reporters flocked to Willow Creek Stables, eager to meet the mare and the woman who had found the baby. Bella seemed to enjoy the attention, her gentle nature winning over everyone who came to see her. The baby, meanwhile, was recovering well at the hospital. Doctors confirmed that it had been left in the forest for several hours, but was otherwise healthy. Authorities launched an investigation to find the baby's parents or guardians, but no one came forward. The community rallied together, offering donations and support for the child, whom the hospital staff had nicknamed Hope. As weeks turned into months, Sarah found herself thinking about Hope constantly. She visited the baby often, bonding with her in a way she hadn't expected. Sarah had always wanted children, but life on the ranch had kept her busy, and she had resigned herself to a quiet life with her horses. But now, she couldn't ignore the tug on her heart every time she held Hope. One evening, as she brushed Bella in the fading light of the barn, Sarah made a decision. She would apply to adopt Hope. The thought both thrilled and terrified her, but deep down, she knew it was the right thing to do. Bella nickered softly, as if giving her approval, and Sarah smiled. "You brought her into my life," she said, stroking Bella's silky mane. "I think she's meant to stay." The adoption process was long and complicated, but Sarah's determination never wavered. She worked tirelessly to prove that she could provide a loving and stable home for Hope. Her friends and neighbors rallied around her, offering letters of support and helping with the ranch whenever she needed time to focus on the adoption process. Finally, after nearly a year, the day came when Sarah brought Hope home. The little girl, now a chubby, giggling toddler, fit perfectly into Sarah's arms and her life. Bella, too, seemed to sense the importance of the moment. She lowered her head gently, nuzzling Hope as if to welcome her to the family. Life at Willow Creek Stables took on a new rhythm. Hope grew up surrounded by the beauty of nature and the love of both her adoptive mother and the animals that called the ranch home. Bella became her constant companion, patiently letting the little girl climb on her back and tug on her mane. The bond between them was unbreakable, a testament to the extraordinary circumstances that had brought them together. Years later, when Hope was old enough to understand, Sarah told her the story of how Bella had found her in the woods. Tears filled Hope's eyes as she hugged the mare tightly. "Thank you for saving me," she whispered, her voice full of gratitude. Bella's story became a cherished family legend, passed down through generations as a reminder of the incredible bond between humans and animals. And though Bella eventually passed on, her legacy lived on in the lives she had touched, especially that of the little girl she had saved. Sometimes, heroes come in the most unexpected forms. Sometimes, they have hooves and a gentle nicker, and sometimes, they remind us that love and connection can appear when we least expect them, changing our lives forever.